Hello there, welcome to Target Radio Podcasts. Yes, we have a podcast for your ears. Every week here on the show, on our live shows that is, we try and get an interesting persons, artists, band members, music, poets, film playwrights. We even get, we'll try and get everyone. We'll try and get everyone that's interested in our genre of music that we portray here on Target Radio. So what we do is sit them down, we have a telephone interview, sometimes a live interview, and we discuss all things in their profession. So stay tuned here. This one is an absolute blast. You're going to love this, and I'll be back at the end to obviously, tell you what's coming up in the very near future. So I am the Podfather. I will now tell you that this is Target Radio Podcasts. Don't forget to check us out on iTunes, and if you think we deserve it, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating. That would be rather nice. Thank you very much indeed. So over to me, Cookie, and obviously to Andy Top Walker as well. And sit tight, and enjoy. This is Target Radio.
Dear God in heaven, please let this show go okay, with no major boobs or goofs, or is it goofs? Please don't let me tread all over the intros of records, or say a naughty word.
I listen to Sean Cook.
Oh, Sean Cook.
We'd like to say that, in our opinion, it is not suitable for children or for those of you who may have a nervous disposition.
Oh, Sean Cook.
And a very good evening. A little later, about 10-15 seconds later, I forgot what the time was. I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs, and all of a sudden it's 7 o'clock. It's time to get on the airwaves. Anyway, a very good evening. It is the 12th of May. And it's a very, very special day. It's International Nurses Day today. I think we all need one of these for them. And why not? They're doing such a marvellous job. Okay, you can overdo things, okay. We only usually use that for our guests. But very, very special International Nurses Day today, so we are going to play a track. I thought we'd play the Gregory Isaacs Night Nurse this afternoon, or this evening I should say. Anyway, nice to have your company on what is really quite a nice evening. It's not cold, the sun has still yet to set, and we got two very special guests this evening. The first one, no stranger to Target Radio actually, is Mr. James Walsh. He'll be on alongside with James. First time on the Target Radio is Mr. Steve-Barnard, or Smiley. We're going to find out why they call him Smiley. I think we know. It's possibly because he smiles a lot. And some bloke called Dean, or we'll let you know who Dean is a little later. Yes, Ruby's here as well. Hello, Ruby. How are you?
Hello.
You know who Dean is, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. You're sounding very loud. You're here to do our birthday section in a short while, about 7:15.
Uh-huh.
And plentiful of birthdays today. If you're on the Facebook, join us at Target Radio live page for presenters and listeners. I'd just like to say hello and good evening to the 1,378 hardcore members there. Okay, let's start off, as we always do, with... Oh, hello. No, be quiet. Okay. What's going on today? I forgot to press that button. There we go. Right, okay. Let's start off with The Who, as we always do, with this one. Okay, I think I've teased our guest long enough. Let me press the magic button. I hope their settings are up. We'll soon find out, won't we? Here we go. Hello. Now, would we have who was first? Actually, I think it might have been Smiley. How are you?
I'm very well, my man. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Let me turn you up a little bit because you're very quiet. And I believe that we also got James Walsh.
Yes, I'm here.
There he is. Excellent. We've got both of the brilliant guys on now. Now, obviously, I play Paul Weller Above the Clouds. James, why?
I can't think for 1 minute there, Sean. It must be something to do with that book I wrote.
Oh, that blooming book, honestly. I still ain't got through it yet. And, of course, I played something from The Alarm, and then I played The Transmitters. Why, Mr. Smiley?
I do believe that I am the drummer with The Alarm, and I produce the Transmitters. That's the right answer, isn't it?
I think so. Wasn't the other way round, I don't think, anyway. So that was good. Excellent. We both got these gentlemen on here, multi-skilled, multitasking, and who said men can't do more than two things at once? I mean, we can breathe and we can moan at the same time, can't we, guys?
Absolutely.
Okay, now we've got you on. You deserve one of these. Hang on, 2 minutes apart, boys. There they are. And guess what else I've managed to find this evening? More for Smiley. It's one of these. Okay, great. We need a Clang. And obviously all of that will become very, very clear as we go through with this lovely interview. Now, I did mention right at the top of the show that we've got Steve-smiley-barnard, who's there, and James Walsh, and some bloke called Dean, okay?
I'm really sorry about
No,
that.
don't worry. For those that are not in the know, because obviously no one knows actually, when I actually put this group together, I went, you guys there? And apparently I'm being called Dean by Smiley, so I don't mind.
Spell check.
Spell check my... yes, okay. Right, okay, let's start off then. Who wants to go first? Who's the oldest?
James
Who's the tallest?
James is better looking and he's slightly older, so he should go
I'm
first.
definitely the oldest.
Oh, I'm sure you're similar ages. Excellent. Right, James, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good, thanks. Sean, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. And how's this lockdown treating you?
It's been fantastic, to be honest. Having the kids home all the time has been amazing, but it's not been very conducive to getting work done.
No, indeed. No, I've seen quite a few pictures on there where they've put sort of makeup on you and things like that. I was going to try and find that picture and put up on our website, but I thought...
I had a feeling you might.
No, I just found one where they put something like a little place thing on top of your head, which was rather good. Honestly, I was sure that makeup thing was only for the weekends, to be honest with you, James.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes.
Okay, well, I've let the cat out of the bag now, haven't I?
Yeah.
and really, not about makeup, Steve, but obviously, same question to you. How's the lockdown treating yourself?
I'm surprisingly enjoying it, actually, Sean. I'm lucky enough to have a studio in my garden, so I've been able to carry on working. So I'm kind of drumming for people and producing people. So it hasn't, apart from the live shows all being cancelled, it hasn't really been that much difference, to be quite honest, mate.
No, indeed, absolutely. And, I mean, obviously, I'm very much the same, guys. I'm actually a key worker, so I'll go out and work as well, and then obviously do the radio side of things as well. So I've obviously got one in my back garden as well, Steve.
Yeah, everybody should have a studio in their garden.
You've got to now, haven't you? It's the way forward. I mean, it's a transformation of the man cave. It's the man studio. Come on!
That's it. It's the future.
It is the future. I bet yours is bigger than mine, though. We won't go there. So, I think we'll start with yourself now, Steve. How did you get involved with music, I suppose, is the first question I'd like to ask you.
It was the only thing I was ever good at, to be honest, Sean. And then I kind of tried endless jobs, but all the time I was out kind of drumming, and then the drumming kind of took over, and then I got my first couple of kind of big breaks, and it kind of went on from there, really. And then I kind of branched a little bit later out into kind of studio work and producing and stuff like that, and it's kind of kept me here, really.
Excellent. So, who was your sort of, what was your first band called? Or, obviously being a drummer, I suppose you've been part of a band, I suppose.
The first ones, God, goodness me, I tried to do this in the book, and I really struggled to remember half of them, as I'm sure most of the people would. But hang on,
what's the book called? What's the book called? Sorry, what's the book called?
Well, that Clang.
That one. Okay, lovely. There we go. That's why I've got that sound effect. Excellent. Okie dokie. And so who was the sort of, who first sort of, like, shall we say, discovered your drumming skills then, I suppose?
To be honest, as I say, the first kind of real kind of Clang, shall we say, was the Mock Turtles. And the bizarre thing about that was I was driving a van at the time,
As you do.
For a living, and it was my favourite song. Can you dig it? And I absolutely loved the song.
Yeah.
Used to play it at top volume every day. And I was playing a blues gig in some pub, and they were there because they'd just done Top of the Pops, and they were out for a drink. And yes, I kind of got spotted by them and joined them a little while later.
As a drummer, yeah?
As the drummer, yeah.
Okay, because you're obviously multi-skilled. You play an array of instruments as well, I believe. So go on, I'll let you name a few of them what you play.
What, instruments?
Yeah.
Oh, my dear dad said to me, "You're a jack of all trades, master of one." So I'll let you work that one out for yourself.
Okie dokie, the triangle then. Right. James, do you play any instruments?
I don't, no.
No, but you are you have one good instrument, which is your voice. It is absolutely unbelievable. And obviously you're not going out gigging at the moment, but when you do go out and gig, what's your go-to song that you like to sing?
Oh, my goodness.
I like to give you the tricky ones, you see.
Yeah, you do. Well, I guess probably my favourites to sing are always going to be sort of Weller and Bowie tracks.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. They're probably right up there with my favourites.
Yes, of course. And I've had obviously the fortunate, I've had the fortune of actually seeing you perform, and you are absolutely marvellous. A good round entertainer as well. You do get sort of bottoms off seats and getting people up and grooving, dancing, etc. So not only do you a good singer, you know how to control an audience as well.
Well, it's lovely of you to say that, Sean. Lovely.
No, I'm saying it because it's absolutely true. And I've seen you perform, like I said, once with a very lovely young lady that I think you know very, very well. It looks rather like Amy Winehouse.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, my daughter, Jamie Louise.
Yeah, indeed.
And in fact, my other daughter, or one of my other daughters, Esther, who's just come up 14, she's just started doing some recording as well now. She's got an amazing voice as well. She's much more in the sort of Billie Eilish type style of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all great.
Absolutely, and I mean, there's something wrong with Billie. She's got an incredible voice. Come on, I mean, you don't just get picked to do a James Bond movie, do you?
No,
you've got to have something behind you, and obviously, the producers of the new Bond movie, they've obviously seen something in Billie Eilish.
Yeah, absolutely. Although they could have had Smiley's version. He wrote his own version of No Time to Die.
Well, do you know something? I think might have preferred that, actually, to be honest with you. I know how he works. I need to ask you one question, though, Steve, is did you ever find that clip for your speaker stand?
Did I ever find the clip?
Yeah.
No. I didn't. That is that. You're going to explain that? Let people work it out.
Yeah, basically, you come with all the gig, the front line, and obviously the speakers, and ladies and gentlemen, speakers go on stands, okay? Because they don't sound so great on the floor unless they're a bass speaker. I'm not going to obviously obviously with the technicalities of speakers, but generally an all-round speaker should be up in the air, uplifted slightly, so it carries the sound. Now that's all well and good. You put them up on a tripod speaker, and you raise the speaker up in the air, but unfortunately, Steve forgot one of these very, very important pieces of metal that goes through a hole that holds up the speaker. I don't know how we got around it in the end, because I thought I had one in my bag, but I didn't, and you went off, and I don't know what you done in the end. I think you put something in there.
I used a fork. I think. In fact, I've still got the fork somewhere as a kind of souvenir of the evening.
Or an emergency backup.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved doing the producing side of things then? Because obviously moving away from music for a second, or maybe not moving away from it, because obviously, working with some really good bands, including the Transmitters, which I played. How did you get involved with those guys, and what did you do for them?
The Transmitters were great. I was on tour. I was drumming for From the Jam at the time. And we
I missed that. Hang on a minute. Hang on. You were drumming for whom?
Yeah, From the Jam.
That one.
Thank you very much. And they were supporting the Transmitters, and I thought they were fabulous. And I just happened to say, if you ever want to record, I'd love to produce you, come to my studio, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And they did. And they're still one of my favourite acts I've had in my studio. They were a great brand.
Oh, they are so northern, but so nice as well. And obviously, when I've interviewed them on many occasions through the radio and everything, the first thing I do is obviously put the universal translator on, because I can't understand a word they're saying. And it's obviously it's a standing joke now, with them. So that moves us neatly into From the Jam. Hang on. That one, yes. Obviously, obviously you got involved with Bruce at the time, I believe, and you were drumming from the Jam. It gets confusing because obviously other names are out there. And obviously the lead singer was at the time, was it Russell?
It's Russell Hastings, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So how did you? I mean, obviously, I think you knew Bruce, did you not?
No, it was a strange little rock and roll triangle because I was drumming with the Alarm, which I still am, and then Mike Peters, the singer, got the job to go and work with Big Country. And
hang on.
Drummer Mark Brzezicki was currently working with From the Jam, so couldn't cover From the Jam shows. So Mike Peters suggested I did From the Jam.
Why not, indeed? And obviously that lasted a while. And did you tour all over the UK and beyond?
Yeah, we did loads of stuff. Yeah, it was, and we did a couple of two of the album tours as well.
Yeah,
the All Mod Cons and the Setting Suns tours, which were great. Fabulous time. Really enjoyed it.
So what was it like? Sort of, I'm not saying sort of like sitting in sort of Rick Buckler's place or filling his shoes and stuff, because obviously each drummer has their own unique style. But did you have to sort of copy a lot of what Rick done, or
yes,
okay,
very much so. I had to adapt massively because I don't really play like Rick, so there's certain kind of things you had to do that he did, and then you could be yourself to a point, but there was an awful lot that was kind of written in stone. But it was very good. It's very good for me as a drummer and as a person, really.
Indeed, I actually asked him when I interviewed Rick. Hang on. There we go.
Nice.
I've got to get that in there. It's going to get boring. When I asked him about his drumming style, because I said, you're a very, very quick drummer. Not that I proclaim to know an awful lot about drumming, apart from, I think I'm going to quote him here, you've got to be some sort of loon to do this for 90 minutes, just hitting something continuously. But that's his words, not mine. But he said to me that he was one that didn't raise his sticks very high and obviously got a very quick drum. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it's all in the wrists.
All in the wrists. There we go.
He's a very underrated drummer, Rick Buckler, actually, in the drumming world.
Yeah.
He's one of those that wasn't really kind of known for his drumming skills, but actually, when you learn how to do what he's doing, he was a brilliant drummer.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his.
Well, I am as well, and as you can hear behind us now, that is actually Rick's drumming skills. Obviously, I'll just put that on the loop because it just sounds rather nice when we're talking to people rather than a song plan with lyrics. But that's actually Rick Buckler drumming live on the Dig the New Breed album, used with his permission as well, which I would like to add.
There you go.
Oh, fantastic. We'll get to your book in a minute. I'm back to James because I think he's fell asleep. Hello, James. Are you?
Hello.
He's awake again there. Now, obviously, what sort of brought you two guys together then?
Well, I was just going to say, when I first met Smiley was backstage at a From the Jam gig.
There we go. You get one of them as well.
Yeah, so we met then, and literally have sort of stayed in touch ever since.
Yeah.
And I've supported things that he's been doing. He's supported lots of things that I've been doing. And then at some point last year, we got together to start recording an album with another friend called Pete Kirby.
Okay.
A keyboard wizard, absolute genius on the keyboards.
Okay.
And we decided we started sort of writing some stuff. I'd come to Steve's studio with some ideas, and Pete the same, and then we'd sort of write the songs kind of from scratch in the studio. So we've sort of all dipped in and contributed to the songwriting, and we're just completing an album now. Okie dokie.
And what sort of name are you going under? Is it your own name, or is it a collaboration of names?
We're just going to be like the Smiley Kirby Walsh project.
That sounds brilliant. It sounds like something you can take on a street corner and busk as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, you'd have trouble with some of the production that Smiley's put into it, though, I'll tell you.
Oh, well, he goes OTT, doesn't he, really? It's to be fair.
He's a very underrated singer, James. I know you're on, James, and I know I'm kind of speaking over you, but honestly, Sean, you'll be stunned when you hear this record, because it's brilliant.
Well, it
took me by surprise, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Well, indeed. I mean, obviously, James, you obviously, I know you for, you do loads and loads and loads of covers, but you don't try to sound like the cover. I think that's a common mistake from a lot of singers, that they try and sound like Weller, or they do sound a lot like Bowie, for instance. Those are the two names that you mentioned. You sound like you, but you sound incredible when you sing. And this is what I want to try and get over to people once, obviously, the lockdown's lifted and pubs and clubs and entertainment factors are all back to normal, that to go and see the local unsigned artists and bands and things, because there's so much talent out there, regarding cover bands, cover artists and stuff, but you do not try to sound like your heroes that you're singing. You sound like you. Now, is that something that you've always wanted to do, or?
I always, as soon as I sort of discovered that I could sing a bit, I always wanted to do it. But not playing, by the time I found out I could sing, I'd kind of missed the boat on learning an instrument, really.
Yeah.
I'm probably completely wrong, but I thought, you probably had to start when you were younger. And so not being able to play always meant, of course, that I was doing pretty much what other people wanted to do in terms of original material, if I was in a band or something, or I was singing other people's songs.
Yeah.
And really, I've just always performed that way. And it's only in the last, probably about 18 months, I've been doing some work with a guy called Bill Newton, who's a very talented songwriter.
Does he need one of these? Hang on. I'll give him that.
Yeah, we'll give him one of those.
Okay, we'll give him one. We'll give him another one. There it is.
And we went over to Smiley's studio to record a couple of songs that Bill had written originally.
Okay.
And we did that, and that project was fine. And then that kind of moved to one side.
Yeah.
And I said to Steve, well, I've got a couple of ideas for songs, that I didn't know if they were just going to be rubbish or worth pursuing. And I took those into the studio, as I say, with Pete Kirby as well.
Yeah.
And it kind of snowballed from there. And working with Pete and Smiley really sort of invigorated then the songwriting again in me. I hadn't written a song for about 30 years.
Wow.
And it's all kind of sort of rolled from there. And I'm not a songwriter, but I get some ideas, and then we take them into the studio, and the three of us write the song really between us.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I mean, is it tune first? I mean, I'll ask this to both of you guys, actually, because you're both musos, or musicians, I should say. Use the word muso now. You're both in the music industry. So is it lyrics first to music, or is it music to lyrics, or does it matter, or is it both?
For me, it's music first.
Okay.
And then I tend to write the music and melody, and I do the old Paul McCartney trick where I fit random nonsense words to phrases and melodies, and then the lyrics come later.
Excellent. Well, it's worked for him.
Yeah, he's done all right, that lad. Hasn't he?
Well, he's not done too bad, has he? Let's be honest. And how about yourself, James?
I tend to come up with musical ideas, and sometimes it's not even actually until we're in the studio, and quite often, to be quite honest, quite often Smiley will say, what about this as a melody? Because I might have a melody idea, a basic idea, but sometimes Smiley go, well, how about dragging this bit out a bit longer, and we'll make the melody this, and then literally while we're in the studio I'll write the lyrics there and then.
Okay, right. Because obviously writing lyrics and writing a book, and we're going to get to the books now, I think. So, James, obviously, you've got two books behind you now. Hang on, a bit echoey.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit echoey here, actually. There we go, much better. Right, so you've got two books. Obviously, There's No Drinking After You're Dead and Above the Clouds, both by your good self there, and some snazzy artwork. Obviously, we've mentioned the artwork before. I'm just holding them up for our live viewers here on, there we go, on Facebook Live. Hello! Yeah, buy these books, buy them. Now, I went on Facebook earlier on my own page, and there's a picture of me in the middle of those two books, and I just wrote, something's missing. Steve? Hang on. Yes, where's that book? I need that book so I can talk to you about that book, the book that's called Clang. Now, I've done a little bit of digging, as you do, on the internet, and there's been a few sorts of reviews on this book as well, which have been all, as far as I can see, rather good. And it's one of these you can dip in and dip out. What I've read so far on different accounts from other people, that you don't have to go into it, chapter by chapter. You can sort of dip in and dip out and pick your favourite sort of genre of music or band indeed, because you've been with quite a few different various artists, including Robbie Williams, Joe Strummer, The Who. Is that true? Is that true?
There's a Who story in it.
Okay.
I was in the Who for 2 minutes. You got to read the book.
We read the book. Read the book. Don't tell anyone. Don't give any spoilers away. But Robbie Williams.
Yeah, I was Robbie's drummer when he first went solo back in '97. So there's a few good chapters on Robbie.
Hang on, Robbie Williams. One of those. Right. Okay. Joe Strummer.
Joe Strummer, yeah, Joe Strummer. I was in the Mescaleros for a few years as well with Joe, so that was a good time. That takes up quite a bit of the book as well.
I bet it does. And obviously, we just mentioned about the respect and material from Bruce Foxton, the mighty bass player with From the Jam, and of course The Jam, and was it Stiff Little Fingers as well, wasn't it?
No, it's The Alarm.
The Alarm. I knew that. So that's how you sort of got to meet with Bruce as well. And Russell Hastings, now that is an interesting story about Russell, because apparently I've heard, I've not interviewed Russell. I'd love to interview Russell one day, and that will happen, I would have thought. But I believe that Russell Hastings was one of the very last Jam concerts, and then to front From the Jam, that's quite a sort of like a big 360-degree turn, isn't it, really?
It's like that old kind of analogy of when there's a football match, a famous football match, and they say, "With one of the players is injured and we haven't got any subs. Does anybody here play football?"
Yeah.
And he put his hand up and then kind of came on and scored a hat trick.
Fantastic,
at Wembley.
Absolutely, that is such a marvellous story, and I can't wait to speak to him. I know it's going to happen one day. We'll get there and there to do that soon. So, books themselves now, obviously, writing songs, is that similar to writing a book? James, I'm going to ask you that first, because obviously you've got two behind you.
Yeah, it is, but it's much shorter.
I suppose if you're basing it on, a story that's already bubbling around in your head, or if it's true life, I suppose the story's already there.
It's true that Steve always says to me when we're in the studio, he always says that I sing like a storyteller.
Okay, right.
Which I think is a compliment.
I think so,
a massive
because
compliment, James.
Well,
you know it is.
Yeah. I mean, think Ray Davies. I mean, obviously, he's one of the brilliant songwriters out there, and obviously all about stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think, I think it's a similar thing to do in a way. I mean, I do. Obviously, I'm a storyteller, and so lyrics I tend to write for songs still tend to be story based, really. You know?
Okie dokie. And what about yourself, Steve? I mean, obviously, did you help? Did you get a lot of help from James when it come to writing Clang? That one.
James was amazing actually, because I started writing it a little bit blind because I'd never done anything like that before.
No, indeed.
And James was the one I knew had done it, and I kind of channeled through him for advice and help and all that, and he's been invaluable to me with this whole book thing. So I am. This is a lovely way to say thank you to you, James.
You're welcome.
Friend.
You're welcome.
But no, it's been really eye-opening. It's been really interesting. But to have somebody who's been there, done it, kind of worked out what works, what doesn't, the pitfalls, etc., it's invaluable. So if anybody's ever going to do it, find someone who's done it before. That's
great. It's like using the word mentor. I mean, absolutely. If you can find someone that's done something and you want to do something similar, it's worth asking if they mentor them. And that's how I think that's how we should get on in life. I think we should all give a hand to someone that needs a hand without sort of like giving them two hands. Really, yeah. I think that's a good analogy. Really. So was it going with the book Clang? No, not that one. Oh, for goodness sake, I pressed the wrong button there. Going with the book Clang, was it a labour of love, or did it sort of really flow out very quickly for you and very easily?
It was quite cathartic actually, because it was sprung on me, the idea, and I was on tour in America, and I just started kind of putting the idea together. And how I did it was I I kind of wrote down all the years of my life and tried to fill in the major things that had happened in those years. And that's how, because I've got a terrible memory. And so once it all started to fall into place, and then I kind of honed in. But my main thing was I wanted it to be the book like I was sitting next to you in the pub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean,
I was telling you the story, not too factual, more of a kind of to keep it light and keep it short and keep it sharp. And that's kind of what everybody's picked up on.
Excellent. I've just read here as well. Obviously, I've been reading a few prefaces of it and all that. You've actually had a run-in, or cross paths, should I say? That's a proper word, with one of the Gallagher brothers. Obviously, we're not going to ask which one because obviously we don't want to give anything away. But what was that like?
It's actually there's stories of both the Gallaghers.
Right, okay.
And let's just say Liam comes out better.
Okay, we say no more. I do apologise.
It's all in the book, Sean.
Yeah,
I
do apologise if you like the other one, ladies and gentlemen. It does seem sometimes that you've got to be on one side or the other with them two, but hey, if they both make great music, I'm not on anyone's side when it comes to that. Oh, my goodness me. So did it sort of like, put a smile on your face when you were writing it? And obviously when you had the book, the final issue of the book, when you obviously got it back, did you read it? Did you actually read it?
I'm still reading it, actually.
It's funny because I hear this a lot from authors, and I'm going to go back to James on this one as well. Because obviously, it's taken X amount of weeks, months, or possibly even years to write the book. When you get the final copy back from the publisher, James, have you read both your books since they've come back?
No, I read There's No Drinking.
Yeah.
I've never read Above the Clouds after I published it.
I know it's sort of like you sort of you know what's in it, you've written it, but it's one of those sort of things. Oh,
Well, I read it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Before it was published, and I have to say, I mean, I read Steve's probably 4 times before we got a proof copy back from the printers.
Yeah.
So, in fact, since I've had a physical copy of it, I haven't read Steve's either.
Well, how rude.
James, put it in your toilet. That's the best place for it, mate.
Hang on a minute. I know we're running short of toilet roll, but I'm sure that was a couple of months ago. I'm sure we're back to normal now, are we? Oh, no, you mean actually reading it, yeah.
It's a fantastic book.
Yeah.
I've got to say, it is a fantastic read.
Good. That's what it's all about. And I can't wait to get a copy of that, hint, hint. So obviously have a read of that as well, possibly on the toilet or possibly in the studio or possibly both. Who knows? Not at the same time, obviously. But, yeah, definitely. I mean, it says here it's a perfect holiday airport book, which obviously is a sort of a kick in the teeth at the moment because obviously we can go to neither.
It's the perfect stay-at-home during lockdown book, actually.
Do you know, I think that's... Yeah, I think you need to write, get your own review out there and say, yes, great for lockdowns.
As is James's. James's you get 2, you see.
Yeah, you do. I've got both of them here, both signed as well. Absolutely brilliant. I think my name appears on both of them as well, which is rather nice. And I love that. I love that because, all I do is obviously talk for a living, amongst other things. And they get my name mentioned in a book. Come on, what's that all about? I think that is absolutely brilliant. In fact, I think I want one of these now. There we go. Right, I only get half of one. So let's go back to music for a minute then. And James, so we've got an album on the horizon. How long before it's coming? Before it comes out?
Well, we've got 12 tracks recorded, which is the album.
Yep.
We've just been working on a cover version that we're doing.
Okay. Any spoilers for that?
No spoilers.
Okay, no worries.
So we're just working on that, and we've been able to do quite a lot of that remotely, obviously, during this lockdown. Pete's recording some stuff at his place, sending it over to Smiley. I've been recording a few bits here and sending it over to Smiley. So we're doing that. Then we've got one more song that we're going to do, and the intention at the moment, anyway, is that we'll have the last song and the cover version as a kind of sort of standalone release prior to the album, and then a 12-track album.
Perfect, lovely. Didn't you ever think about putting an odd number in there, like 13?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know what? It goes back to when I was young, I think. When you used to go and buy albums with your pocket money and your savings, and you used to have to actually save up to buy an album. And things like that. And generally speaking, I remember a time when it was pretty much 6 tracks each side, and And for me, that's kind of...
It sort of stayed with you forever,
it has,
absolutely.
That's kind of an album to me, that 12 tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it could be any number of tracks. I mean, if you buy something from Jean-Michel Jarre, it's just one track on each side. It's just called Equinox Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go on and so forth. So 12 tracks. I always say, do you want to do 13? Because unfortunately, it's my lucky number. I don't think I know any albums yet who've got 13 tracks on them. There's probably thousands out there, but I've not come across one yet. And now, Steve, when it comes to producing material, now obviously, it's very easy when everyone's under the same roof. I mean, obviously, with lockdown, and as James was saying, you've had bits and pieces sort of like thrown over to you from here, there, and anywhere. How hard is it then to get that studio quality if it comes over to you a little bit, can we say ropey?
That's been the only slight problem, is when people aren't here and you're not completely... James and I had this conversation today about him sending me vocals, and it's not so much the quality, it's me sitting next to him and saying, that bit, James, why don't you try it this way? And then he responds so positively.
Yeah, of course.
Because we haven't got that kind of going on, that's the only thing that's not kind of what we had before.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know
basically what I'm saying is he's going to come back in and do all the vocals again.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that now, James, you now do.
Yeah, no,
great.
He broke it to me earlier today.
I think, though, obviously, I think with music and sound bites and stuff like that, we're never 100% happy with the outcome. I mean, we can say we're 99.9% happy with it. There's always a little shadow of a doubt thinking, maybe I could have done a little bit more. I suppose, everyone's a little bit like that. We self-critique all the time, don't we, Steve? But
that's why we haven't read the books, Sean.
Well, I'll read them. I will read them and let you know. But I'm sure they're both good reads. But going back to the music then, and obviously... I suppose lockdown, it can be a hindrance. It can also be a help because it does get the creative juices flowing, really. I've thought of so many different things to do, and I've got a major announcement to make, but I can't do it yet, and I won't do it whilst I'm interviewing you guys, but I'm so excited. But it does mean I'll be making quite a few trips up north, sort of Manchester way. That's all I'm going to say at the moment. So, but it's great news for Target Radio. We're expanding, we're getting out there, and most importantly, we're going to get more bands, unsigned material out there in other platform areas. So I'm really looking forward to that. And that's come out from this crisis of lockdown, really.
That's good.
There's been a lot of positives, actually. I think that people will only know what the positives were later. It'll be a big hindsight, I think.
Yeah,
lockdown.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, for garden shed projects, like, Target Radio, which generally is in the garden, and obviously, using sound producing like yourself, Steve, Sunshine Corner. And I don't remember it being sunny all the time over there in Fleet, but I'm sure it is.
It's very sunny and it's very, very positive. That's why it's called Sunshine.
Oh, that's what we want to hear. That's brilliant. And I love the album, the last album I got from yourself, which was Smiley's Friends. I love those. They're brilliant because it is an array of collective sounds and people on there. And I mean, you wouldn't associate them all on one album, but it just works, doesn't it?
Well, that's the thing. I think once you've been producing people and you kind of, you start to realise, as I said to you earlier in the interview about being a jack of all trades and master of one.
Yeah.
Being the drummer, that's when you realise that a guitarist is a guitarist and a bass player is a bass player. So I can play instruments to a point, but when you get a real proper player, the difference is enormous.
Of course,
and so that's what the whole Friends project was about, to try and bring different people to the party.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that. I just pressed a button and something went completely wrong there. Right, okay, now I've just got a couple of people that want to say hello, and that's why I was pressing the buttons there. Bobby Tolton says, dear old James, bless him. Oh, thank you. I'm not sure about the old bit, but there we go.
Loved Bobby. They're an amazing band.
Oh, absolutely. You can use the word old because he did to you. Billy Stiles says, good evening. Jamie Louise Evans. No idea. Says, hi.
Yeah, you know Jamie. You've seen us sing. That's Amy, isn't it?
I'm being silly. Hello, Jamie. How are you? Paul Campbell has joined, and Paul Eustace is there as well. He's joining in the fun this evening, and he just says hello, good evening as well. So that's rather nice. Okay, moving swiftly forward then. Right, so what's next for James once this? Once you have to come back in and do all the lyrics again, what's next for you?
Yeah, I think the big thing at the moment is getting the album completed and finishing off that project. I had just about sort of started on the trilogy book for the, to complete the sort of Billy Hunt series.
Yep, I'll just hold them up again. There we go. Those two books here.
Yeah. And then, of course, lockdown started. And quite frankly, as I say, I mean, it has been fantastic having the kids around. I mean, I'm a massive sort of family man. And
definitely, definitely.
And that's been amazing. But what it has meant is I haven't been able to write sort of novel type writing at all. So that's gone totally onto the back burner for the moment. But yeah, working with Steve and Pete and finishing the album and so on is the sort of the big push at the moment, I think, really, for me.
Absolutely.
And then once the lockdown is over and things return a little bit to normal, whatever normal might be after the lockdown, then I'll be able to crack on with some more novel writing. And the other thing I'm doing is with Gatecrash the Party Books is, as well as having helped Steve get his wonderful book published. Yeah. I'm helping another author at the moment, a guy called Dave Millington, who's written a fantastic novel.
Hang on. One of those.
That's going to be coming out later in the year on Gatecrash the Party Books. And I'm also talking to one or two other people about publishing or helping them to publish their books as well.
So basically, the mentor is mentoring, which is rather good. That is brilliant.
Yeah, it's great, and it's something I really enjoy doing as well, and helping other people to achieve publishing a book, is a fantastic feeling. It's great.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's nice. It is nice to actually incorporate lots of other different talents as well. And obviously, we'd better mention obviously the covers of your books, James, as well. Obviously, because there's a couple of lovely people that just said hi, which is Stephen K. Barnett.
Yeah.
They're saying hello to you.
Kay's photography for the cover of those books is absolutely amazing, and I should perhaps, if she's listening, then put her on notice that obviously at some point I will be needing her to do the cover for the third book.
Well, yeah, I'll tell her now. You've got to clean your lens, he says. And the cover of your book, Steve, is well, I like it. Is that the Thinker with lots and lots of different names coming out of his head?
Yeah, that's it. That was my friend Cole Parsons, who's done all my album artwork as well. He's a clever boy. He really is.
I love that. I mean, obviously, the thinker sitting down, thinking, and obviously all these names just popping out of one's head. I like that. I like the metaphor of it. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, brilliant. I mean, obviously, there's so much creativity out there. You want to bottle it up and sell it, don't you?
Yes, on Gatecrash the Books part. Go on, James, tell them the website.
It's www.gatecrashthepartybooks.com.
There they are. And you're both using them, are you?
Yeah. Smiley's is through Gatecrash the Party as well. Yeah.
I'm just going to say, because I don't actually have a copy of that book at the moment, so I couldn't make any reference to it.
I will send you one,
thank you very much.
First thing tomorrow.
Hang on. There we go. Get a couple of them now. Right, lovely. And obviously I will stand the line. I will give you my name. I'll send it over to you. No worries at all. Archie Morris says, hello, good evening. And Paul Burgess is saying, the Manchester mods are here. Thank you. Very nice of you to join us this evening. It's really great. Now, with us at the moment, we have got James Walsh and we've got the smiley one, Steve Barnard. Now, I've got to ask you, I mean, obviously it is a positive, but Smiley, where does that nickname come from?
Oh, I really should have a big showbiz answer for that by now, shouldn't I? But years back, there were too many Steves at one point, and somebody mentioned, Steve, the drummer, Smiley Steve, and then it just got shortened, and I'm stuck with it, really.
Do you know, I mean, obviously, I'm Cookie, because obviously it's Cook with an E and Cookie. Yeah, it makes sense. What about you, James? Have you got a nickname for yourself, or has someone got a nickname for you? As long as it's family-friendly, please.
I was going to say, certainly none that I could broadcast on it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Hang on, the boys have come back in. Oh, for goodness sake. They want to do this for you. That's got to be one of the best answers so far we've had. Oh, my goodness me. Now, something silly for you then, James. Are you thinking of doing a YouTube channel for middle-aged men with makeup?
No.
No, good answer.
Yes, never crossed my mind.
I bet it hasn't. For those that don't know what we're talking about this evening, check out James's Facebook page, and often you'll find him plastered in makeup, which I've no idea why. Perhaps it's one of those secret things.
It's Jessica. I mean, if you've got an 8-year-old princess in the family, you're going to get made up, and that's it.
And the thing is, you're a modern man, which I love about you, and it is brilliant. You just allow them to do it, and it is great fun. And then, obviously, you don't take yourself too seriously, which is what, again, I think comes over in, everything that you do. You do it professionally, but you're so approachable with it as well, which is, again, a really good trait to have. And I think that comes across to you as well, doesn't it, Smiler? Exactly the same. Steve is one of these characters that you can go up, shake him by the hand, and, as long as you've not had a dirty kebab or something like that.
That's the best answer all night as well.
Dirty kebab. Hang on a minute. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Right. I love these two buttons I've got here. Paul Eustace says he wants to play some rock and roll live, make a loud noise, drink beers with my band, and see your relatives, but you can go and get a flight to France and get your roots done. And I'm not going to mention that last word, for goodness sake. Paul, what you like? I don't know what he's going on about, but yeah, he's quite right. I mean, this lockdown is a bit strange at the moment. I don't want to get political on here, but I watched that thing the other night with Boris, and part of me understood it, and a lot of me didn't. Do you get any ideas of what's going on?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, great answer.
I think I understood the words, but the logic behind them wasn't necessarily making a lot of sense.
No, there was a lot more sort of like, he was just giving us the outside of a circle, but not obviously giving us the innards of it, and it was very, very difficult to understand how. I don't know. I watched something this morning, actually, when I got back in from work, and it was like they were interviewing Edwina Currie. I didn't even know she was still around, in politics, that is. I said that way round for a reason.
You were going to say alive then, weren't you?
No. I was going to say politics all the time.
He was.
No, not at all. I chose my words very carefully there. And he said, right, apparently, according to the government pledge, that you can go into a field or a park or some sort of a public area, as long as you stand 2 meters apart, you can basically say hello to complete strangers. But according to their policy, that you cannot have more than one person and you're outside of your family, i.e., someone that you don't live with but are family members, in that same area. How's that work? I don't know. They really, really grilled her, and she kept going back to about going to work. And I thought, well, that's not the question. Why do they do that? I don't know. But anyway, that's a politic thing. We're not about politics. All we want to do is get this lockdown well and truly gone and get out there and start gigging and socialising and having some fun on a Friday, Saturday evening. Don't you agree, guys?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. So, what's the first thing, Steve? I'm going to ask this question first. What's the first thing once this lockdown is completely gone, completely finished with, and we know no more about this coronavirus? What's the first thing you want to go and do?
Oh, that's good. The first thing I want to do is go and do a gig in front of people. You know what I mean?
Not real people.
Shake their hand afterwards. Yeah.
Oh my goodness me! Absolutely, yeah. I'm in your book. Yeah, I'll be there. I want to be there. I'll be shaking you by the hand. I'll put some gloves on first though. Right. Rosina Shirley just said she felt so bad for Edwina Currie. Well, okay, no problems at all. Mohair Sweet says, did the beer trimmer fail then, Sean? Thank you. Right. No, I've got a hole in my razor blade. Same question to you then, James.
I think straight after lockdown's over, I want to get the album out.
Yep.
Give you an exclusive first play of it.
Oh, thank you.
Come back with Smiley onto your radio show again and chat to you about it.
Perfect. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait for the lockdown. If it happens next week, you guys are back next week. That's it. As far as I'm concerned, everyone else, they can go and do one. No, obviously. Right, so back to you, James. How do we get hold of you? Because obviously we're going to finish up now. How do we get hold of you? And obviously, have you still got some books in the the front room there that we can knock out?
Yeah, we've still got books available. Both of mine and Smiley's are available from www.gatecrashthepartybooks.com.
Okie dokie. And do we know how much they cost off the top of your head, or do we have to go and search?
Yeah, actually, at the moment, certainly until the end of May,
Yep.
both of my books are currently reduced to £7.50 each.
Wow, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. And Smiley's book you can get for £9.99.
Brilliant. There we go. That's simple as that. I like that. And obviously, as I said before, I mean, obviously your books, James, are more of a novel. They're a story. And what I've read so far, and I have read one, almost all read one. I'm very busy. It is good. It is one of these reads that, you know, once you start reading it, you seem to sort of feel guilty for putting it down again, which is rather a good thing that you want to hear. And I do actually mean that. It starts getting you sort of like in that zone, that picture, that sort of, you know, where you want to be. That is good. Right. And obviously with yours, Steve, which I obviously haven't got yet, but what I've heard so far and all the reviews and everything, you can really sort of like turn the page, get to the chapters that you want to do, and then go back, go forward, and literally you can pick it up, put it down, and it's sort of there for you when you want it.
Yep, that's the idea.
And was that always your idea when you were creating the book and making the book?
Yeah, I think so, because I've always found with kind of autobiographies and stuff that you get to the start, and I don't know about you, but if there's 5 chapters of their childhood, I tend to skip straight to chapter 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really care what they did at school and what sort of bike they had when they were 13. So I kind of got to the good stuff quite early.
Yeah,
shall we say?
You cheated. You forward winded your videotape.
Basically. Yeah,
look it up, boys and girls who don't know what a videotape is. I know where you're coming
I've
from.
got to tell you though, Sean. I've
Yeah.
got to tell you the first chapter of Smiley's books is one of the greatest chapters of all time.
Ah, right. Give us a little test.
No,
Go on, tease.
Well,
tease.
all right, I'll tell you, the one thing I can tell you is that Smiley actually is the son of a preacher man.
Ah, right, okay, lovely. I thought you were going to say he was born, because that's usually how it starts. Okay, so you just came into this world, son of a preacher man. Oh, right, okay, I see where you're going with that one. Oh, I can't wait to get the book. I will text you my address.
Okay, mate, do that. We'll get you one over tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. Mind you, I only live around the corner, so it's not that far either.
Oh, yeah, I could probably put one. Oh, no, I'm not allowed out, am I?
You're not allowed out unless it's absolutely an emergency.
Yeah, not allowed out.
No, absolutely not. Anyway,
Politically correct.
One less for you to trip over in the living room. Apparently someone said that you've got piles of them in the living room.
Well, that was my wife who, she was very proud of me when the books turned up, and then very quickly said, "Get those boxes out of my house."
Oh, my goodness me. Now, you are both married men, you both got families and stuff like that. Now, Steve, you have got music and you've got the, I suppose, the famous sort of family that you want. You've got so much talent within the family. Tell us a little bit about your lovely wife, please.
Oh, my wife, Kerry, she's the singer with Cue the Music, which is the James Bond act that tours all the big theatres in the country. So I've got my very own Shirley Bassey in my pocket.
Fantastic.
And that really is a band worth checking out, because they do the live show, but they've got kind of real life Bond girls doing the narration, and they play with like a 15-piece band playing all the songs, and it's an incredible show.
Oh, brilliant, lovely. Well, hats off to her, and obviously, you know, our love and, you know, obviously success to you guys as well. And James, you mentioned obviously one of your daughters is starting to get into music, but obviously you have a daughter that's already into music. Just tell us a little bit about her again. Obviously, the Amy Winehouse and everything else that she does.
Yeah, absolutely amazing singer. I mean, the Amy Winehouse really is only a small part of what she does.
Absolutely, yeah.
The Amy Winehouse tribute, but she's an absolute powerhouse of a singer.
Yes, absolutely.
And really completely opposite to Esther, who is much more, and I'm sure Jamie won't mind me saying, her voice is much more sort of delicate, shall we say, but almost as unique as Jamie Louise in the way that she performs as well. And in fact, we're just trying to get Esther to do a few backing vocals for the album, which we've been doing a little bit with lately. That may, to be honest, may or may not end up being there, but certainly I'm hoping that we can get her involved a little bit. And she's just learning all the time, and she's still only 14. You know,
absolutely. Well, I'm gonna help manage her now, okay? And I'm just gonna go back to Steve. Obviously, to get a backing vocalist in on a professional basis, how much does it cost?
It depends how much you owe the author of your book, shall we say.
Oh, I've started something there. Now, you're not surprising to hear that people do pop round to see you, Smiley, and one person I'm going to mention now is Spider from Quadrophenia. He just popped in one day. I know it's planned, but just go with it. He popped in one day, and yeah, well, there you go. You started recording some lyrics for him for the Britopia album. How was it like working with him?
Oh, he was lovely. I stayed really close friends with Gary. He's a really nice guy. But the irony was, Sean, that on my studio wall is a kind of tapestry of Quadrophenia.
Yes.
So, and ironically, we'd done a tune with Phil Daniels.
Oh, hang on.
Before.
Yeah, one of them.
So they've both been in here, and they're both on the wall. It was quite funny, really.
Oh, that is hilarious, but also, unique as well. I mean, obviously, it was going to happen. You know it was going to happen. Now, have you bumped into pretty much every member of Quadrophenia?
I pretty much, yeah. I did a TV show with Leslie Ash once. Sang that one. That's in the book. But yeah, pretty much, yeah. And Sting, he's in the book.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm running out now.
I think I've got no more Clangs left, okay. James, do you know anyone really famous?
Yeah, Smiley.
There we go. Oh, my goodness me. Any more?
No, that's it.
For goodness sake. Well, you can have one as well. There we go. Right, there you go. I think that's all the Clangs we've got time for this evening. Right, so how do we get hold of you two guys individually, please? If people want to message you, obviously James, and obviously you, Smiley, how do we get hold of you? James first.
Oh, was that me first?
Sorry, that was you first, yeah. James first, sorry.
Well, yeah, no, you can get hold of me through all the usual sort of social media channels, or direct through the book website. I'm very accessible.
Absolutely.
I'm exactly the same, Sean.
Perfect,
just to save you the time.
There we are. There we go. So find them on Facebook. Find them on all the social media sites, Twitter. I'm sure they're on Instagram as well. I know James is on Instagram. He's trying out a new range tomorrow of blusher, I believe. Oh, we love you, James. Honestly, we really, really do. But you are stars yourself, and thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening. Have I missed anything, guys?
Nope. Pleasure.
No, I think you've covered all bases.
Brilliant, lovely. And not once did he call me Dean.
Well, I was waiting for that as my final call. But you've blown it now. Yeah. You've got your own Clang.
Oh, my goodness me. Hang on. There we go. That was worth the 69p of download fees to get that. That was great. Guys, you've been stars this evening. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and taking some time out. I'll let you get back to your regular lives now. I'm going to play some more music, and I thought we'll play this one as we're going out. This is from The Jam. I'm not sure if you're actually on this one at all, Steve, but we'll pretend you are, just in case you're not. Yes, so this is from The Jam, and this one is called Start. Thank you very much indeed to my guests this evening, James Walsh and Steve-smiley-barnard. Thank you very much indeed, fellas, and we'll see you very soon. I'll text you soon, Steve, with my address.
Okay, my friend.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Take care.
See you, mate.
Thank you. There they are. And they're gone now. I better put the quality of the audio call, which I thought was rather good. I'll give it 5 stars as we play this one. This is from The Jam. And, of course, Start. Hang on. One of them. From The Jam. Not sure if Steve-smiley-barnard was actually drumming on that one or not. We'll just pretend he was. Thank you very much indeed again to Steve-smiley-barnard, who's calling me Dino now. It was Dino earlier, now it's Dino. What's he like? And lovely, the brilliant James there. He's such a great laugh. And he takes the makeup in all of his stride. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, no, he doesn't do sort of funny dressing at the weekends or anything like that. No, his daughters actually practice their makeup skills on him, and he just takes it. What a gentleman. What a 21st century good guy. And I'd just like to say one more time this evening, have I mentioned it already, that James Walsh and indeed Steve Smiley-Barnard, brilliant guests. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Looking forward to hearing you back, obviously, when we do the Mixcloud later on during the week. And, of course, we'll turn, obviously, all the spoken parts, indeed, through to a podcast as well. And if you do subscribe to Target Radio Podcast, that will appear by magic in your device of your choosing very, very soon, sometime in the next week or so, once I get my finger out. Now, if you do want to join in all the fun here at Target Radio, please head over to Facebook page, and it's Target Radio live page for presenters and listeners. Join up there. You're more than welcome. You can post anything you like, but no other radio stations, please. We're also on Twitter, the Twitter, and that's at Target Radio 247. There you will find a complete listing of music played throughout the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, it's all there. And I'm still getting to grips with Instagram. I'm so old. Apparently it's all pictures, which is great for radio, but we've got a page there as well, and that is Target Radio 247. Okay, let's have some more music. A guest that we had a couple of weeks ago now. This is Carl Morris. Oh, what a fantastic interview. You'll find that on the podcast and, of course, on the Mixcloud as well, if you missed that one. But this is Carl Morris and Hang On. Is it Hung On? Yes, Hung On. It is. Carl Morris. Are you done? I think they're done. Yeah, there we go. The aim there, and not that kind of girl. And I'd just like to say hello and good evening to another wonderful audience out there on Instagram at the moment. Hello, Instagram. How are you? I'm waving at everyone. I've no idea who they are because I can't see it because I've got my phone turned around the other way. And obviously Instagram messages come up the other way. So I can't really see it without turning my head like that. And no, can't really tell who they are, but I'm sure that they're all ever so nice. Anyway, I'm going to play something from the latest album from the Jam, actually. And there is a small reason why I want to play it. Not only because we spoke about him earlier with Steve Smiley-Barnard, who drummed from the Jam for a short period of time with Bruce Foxton and Russell Hastings, but it's in the pipeline. That's all I'm going to say. For those who know what I'm talking about. And I'd just like to say hello again, once again, to the Instagram, but I've got to come off it now. Okay, I would like to say one more time this evening, thank you very much indeed to two very lovable fellas. That is Mr. James Walsh and Steve Smiley-Barnard. And I'll just say now, they were a brilliant interview. Can't wait to hear that back later on today or tomorrow when I get around to doing it. And it will be on podcast, and it will be on the Mixcloud Listen Again feature. For tonight, though, thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, Thursday we will be celebrating. Okay, even though I'm not here live, we will be celebrating all the NHS staff and all the other key workers there by a massive round of applause just at 8 o'clock on the evening. And I'm back on Friday for a New Wave hour from 7. Till then, stay safe. Thank you very much indeed for your company, and we'll see you all very, very soon.